friendo, Steve here. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about Mandy Rose because this is Wrestle Juice and it's a current thing that's happening right now. Mandy Rose, of course, was released by WWE, and right after she dropped her NXT Women's title to Roxanne Perez. It seems like there was a bit of a heist that happened here because according to Dave Meltzer, Mandy Rose was not notified that she was being fired until right after she dropped the NXT title to Roxanne Perez. I guess they didn't trust her necessarily not to do business, or they said, hey, we're going to be letting you go, but you got to drop the title first. I don't know, the ethics of that in terms of like the pro wrestling business. Maybe that's sort of a normal thing. I don't know. So a lot of people are up in arms because they love Mandy Rose and they think, hey, WWE, if somebody wants to be under contract with you and, sell essentially, to capitalize off their own, body image, sexuality, what have you, shouldn't they be allowed to do this? And it's a bit of a gray area. And this is what a lot of people have problems with, the hypocrisy involved. Of course, it wasn't that long ago, like 20 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, that WWE would actively encourage and cut deals with Playboy to have their wrestlers featured topless, showing nipple, and in some case, what Playboy has for like the front area, genitals, right? And so nowadays, though, with big sponsors, with big billion-dollar broadcast deals, it's a different landscape. WWE also doesn't have the greatest record when it comes to the independent contractor status of many of their wrestlers. Of course, John Oliver, I think it was like a year ago or so, did a great expose on just how fucked up it is to be a WWE wrestler. We can't really do much. You're basically an employee, but you don't have the benefits of being an employee. And you compound that with the fact that WWE really, compared to the men, don't pay their women quite as much. I know Becky Lynch, for example, makes $3 million, but last I checked, I did a little bit of research. I think Mandy Rose looks like she makes about $150,000 a year. When you factor in that they have to pony up a lot for like the travel expense and stuff like that, that adds up pretty quick. So all in all, in general, women don't make that much in WWE. So they rely on other deals, other endorsements to make more money, which they should be allowed to because of the independent contractor stuff. Now, of course, last year when Vince was still running things, he clamped down on a lot of that stuff. Brand deals had to go through WWE. You couldn't do Cameo anymore. You couldn't do Twitch anymore. Well, they've loosened that since Triple H and Nick Khan and Stephanie McMahon have all sort of taken charge. So you can do that to a certain degree. But in this case with Mandy Rose, it seems to boil down to something very simple, and that's the standards. And you might want to refer to them as double standards, whatever. But there seems to be, in modern day society and popular culture, what have you, do's and do nots when it comes to what is acceptable and what you can show and do with your own body while being sort of safe for advertisers. Yeah, everybody has to deal with it. Whatever kind of content creator you are, you got to deal with this. For example, if I decided to just show some pornography right here on Wrestle Juice, guess what? My channel would be taken down. So I don't think there'd be a whole lot of like people, oh God, YouTube, how dare you take down Wrestle Juice? All he wanted to do was show some people having the sex. No, there's a place to do that. It's called Pornhub. And so this is kind of the same thing. Let's be frank here. I'm going to use some adult language. You can't show your butthole. If you're a woman, oddly, you can't show nipples, but men can, which is a weird thing to me. And also, you clearly can't show your genitalia, whether you're a man or woman. Right? Well, Mandy Rose is kind of doing all those things. And yes, it was behind a paywall, but it leaked and it got out. And that's the risk that you run when you do something like that. And I don't care. I'm pro butthole, but I understand why advertisers wouldn't. And the bottom line is WWE, they're beholden to their advertisers because that's where a lot of their money comes from. Same with Fox and NBC Universal. They're giving WWE a shit ton of money. So WWE probably has written in their contracts clauses that say, hey, You can show some cake on Instagram, but we draw the line at your butthole. So that's what we're dealing with here. And I see a lot of arguments online, justice for Mandy Rose, that seem to be a bit on the naive side. Should she be allowed to sell pictures of her butthole online if she wants to? Sure, absolutely. She's doing that. It seems very lucrative. She's charging like $40 just to see stuff that's similar to her Instagram page, and then adding on top of that the ability, once you paid the $40, to pay $100, $200, $50 for various videos and pictures that expose more. She's able to do that. Nobody's saying she can't do that. What they're saying is you can't do that while under contract to WWE, because they're beholden to advertisers, including toy makers and big broadcast companies. I understand that that's simply the world we live in. Whether you think it's right or wrong is another thing. And as I said earlier, the problem with WWE is that you sort of can't give them the benefit of the doubt, because they have screwed so many people over, and they have been so hypocritical in so many other instances, that it's hard to isolate this incident and say, oh, WWE kind of has a point here. By the way, Mandy Rose will be fine. She's probably making at least 3 times what she's making from the WWE off of this, what I think is called a fan time site. The bottom line is this: Mandy Rose did what kind of everybody should be trying to do if you're a career person. No, I don't mean sell pictures of your asshole. I mean, you should be using whatever job you have in the moment, whatever platform you have in the moment, to try to better your own career. If you're entirely happy and have no desire to move on from what you're doing in this moment, then that's great. You've achieved what you're looking for. But if you can find something that you really, really love, that you can make a lot more money doing, and you can use the job that you have right now to get to that point, then you should be trying to do that. There's no way Mandy Rose didn't know that what she was doing would be unacceptable under her contract. She's not going to be surprised that what she did led to her being fired. She understood that she really enjoyed doing the pictures and stuff. She was getting paid a shit ton of money, and that in the end, you'd have to choose one or the other. WWE seemingly made that choice for her and fired her, but in the end, she used the platform that she had to propel her to the level that she's at, selling pictures on the internet for probably a lot more money than she was making in the WWE. So, I don't know. I kind of feel like that's the lesson to take away from here, is that in the end, she had a choice, and she made that choice, and I'm sure she's probably actually pretty happy with that choice at this point, because she just kept on doing it and she's not stopping now. And on top of that, the amount of publicity this is going to get her fan time page is off the charts. I would imagine all those subscriptions probably doubled or tripled, because I didn't even know about this site before this happened. And I'm sure a lot of other people didn't know about it either. And I'm sure a lot of people are plunking down $40 right now to check it out. So anyways, I don't know. That's how I feel. How do you guys feel? Let me know in the comments below. Be civil. Don't be gross or lewd or whatever. And yeah, till next time.